In a single second, I changed 5 people's lives, except for 4 of those lives were not my own, and those are really the only ones that matter. When I graduated high school at 17 years old and enrolled in the University of Georgia, I decided to pursue a degree in public relations, figuring it would be the best way to use my speaking abilities and my marketing understanding to help the things that I loved, which are my communities, people, and wildlife. Looking back now, I know I was academically prepared, but I was not socially prepared at all for what it was going to be like to consume alcohol routinely with my peers. A year into being at UGA, I had made some friends, some of which were older, and those older friends invited me back over the summer to partake in their graduation events. One of those events was on May 22nd, 2016, and that is the same day as my accident. On that day, I made a really immature and horrible decision to drive my car after drinking, and I am wholeheartedly responsible for that, and I know that that's my responsibility, and I have known that since the day of my accident. When I was pulled out of my car, I looked around me and saw a really horrific sight. I saw a whole bunch of emergency vehicles and people, and I heard a whole bunch of very scary sounds. And I knew immediately that I not only hurt myself, but I had probably hurt all the other people around me, and they were probably in the same excruciating pain that I was in. When I was put into the ambulance with who I believe is Lauren Duckworth, I couldn't stop saying how sorry I was and telling her how remorseful I was and apologizing and asking for her forgiveness now or later on in the future. Later on in the hospital, I did the same thing with, I believe, Miss Elaine Duckworth. I feel incredibly sorry for what I've done, and I can't believe that it happened. After that night in the hospital, I didn't have any more contact with the victims. My lawyers did all of that, and myself, my parents, and my civil lawyers, Russell Davis and Pete Law, tried to make sure that the parties involved got as much insurance money for my negligent actions as possible. I know that money does not cure pain or erase memories, but it's the only tangible thing that I can offer other than the remorse that sits in my heart every day. My goal from this fateful and horrible night in 2016 is to create as much good from it in the coming year as possible through speaking to colleges, on campuses, in middle schools, high schools, or anywhere where youth groups reside, and talking to them about how not to put themselves in my shoes and not make the same bad choices regarding alcohol and drugs that I did. I'm asking I be given home confinement so I can become a spokesperson for this, and I can work very hard to create a campaign that speaks to millions of students and children. I don't want anybody to put others through what I have put Miss Lauren and Elaine Duckworth, Miss Margie Schoen, and Mr. Rivera through. Nor do I want anybody to put their families through what I've put my family through. Going forward, I live my life trying to be the best person that I can be, and I want to make a difference by expressing my remorse through these stories. I want to help prevent future tragedies, and I want to help others understand how not to be me. I think that my story of going from an honor student to being a convicted felon will have an impact on students, but only if they can look at me and they can feel what I feel, and they can feel the presence in the room of the amount of contrition and remorse that sits on me every day and how much guilt I carry. I sincerely hope that you will allow me the opportunity to do all that I can to transform this tragedy into a powerful and impactful teaching tool for the lives of millions of people.